If you're watching this video, you're probably curious about the French Writing Playground application. In this video, we're going to talk about the motivation behind this app and how to use it so you can see its key features in action. Ever since I started learning French, writing has been a major area of struggle for me. I know a lot of vocabulary, so I'm able to form coherent sentences. However, I'm still prone to making grammatical errors. Now, technically, I could resolve this by simply writing more in French. But when you hear the recommendation to write more, they're usually asking you to practice writing essays. And I agree, that helps. However, getting assigned a topic or choosing to write about a specific topic just to have it evaluated sounds hard. There's no invitation or appeal for anyone to do that. And for me, I needed a way to practice writing every single day. Here's the thing. The goal of language learning for me is to be able to express myself and my thoughts about anything and everything, not just carefully chosen essay topics. Every day I have thoughts in English and then I wonder, how can I say that in French? Most of the time I have an idea because I know a lot of vocabulary. However, I always wish I could confirm them. Now I know a quick Google search of the original sentence could do this, but what makes the French Writing Playground application special to me is that it gives me the room to make an attempt at describing whatever thoughts I have in mind, no previous context needed. Then it evaluates my written text, gives it a CEFR score, and provides corrections with brief explanations for the errors made. If no spelling, grammar, or punctuation errors are made, it simply provides an alternative way of expressing the same thought. So I had a lot of fun creating this application. To get to it, you visit www.frenchwritingplayground.com. Once the application loads, it starts by asking how you're feeling today. Now here's the thought process behind this. Most applications typically have two themes or modes, the light mode and the dark mode. But I thought, why stick to those binary options when we can have multiple themes in the application, each one based on how you're feeling at the moment? So back to the application. Every single one of the moods you see here has a different theme attached to it. Right now, I feel hopeful, so let's choose that. Now you notice here at the top, you receive a personalized message based on your chosen mood and hence theme. You also get a quote that comes both in French and English. My thought process here was that if you see a quote in French, based on how you're feeling at the moment, you're more likely to recall the new vocabulary you learned from that quote. If you decide to, you can change the theme with this drop down here at the top, or you can scroll down and click on the button right here to change the theme as well. Every time you change a theme, the personalized message and the quotes will change to match the selected theme. Okay, so right here is where all the magic happens. You can enter a name or an alias if you wish to. Then this is the writing area where you type your thoughts. Below the writing area, you can see a checkbox asking if you wish to share your writing to the public collage. We'll take a look at a public collage pretty soon, but it's essentially a public space to share your writing so that you and other users of the application can view it and see the corrections or style suggestions attached to it. Now you must enter a name or an alias if you wish to add the writing to the collage. In this case, I do, so I'll enter my name right here. Now let's enter a thought in the writing box. Depuis hier soir, je ne peux pas arrêter de penser comment je pourrais améliorer cette application. Or, je sais que la construction de ce projet est l'une de mes fiers achievements. You probably noticed that the ready to submit notification doesn't show up until after you've entered 50 characters. And as you keep typing, the message here at the top changes to encourage you to write more. So before I submit, what I'm trying to say above is, since last night I couldn't stop thinking about how I could improve this application. However, I know that building this project is one of my proudest achievements. I know that there are definitely grammatical errors in my French, and I also don't know how to say the word achievements in French, so now I'm going to find out. So when you click on the submit button right here, you get two options for a model to use to evaluate the text. I always recommend sticking to GPT 4.1. It's accurate and gives you exactly what you need 95% of the time. If you receive a correction from the GPT 4.1 model and you think there's something wrong with the correction, then I would suggest you reattempt the same sentence with the slow model. Okay, so I'll click on continue to evaluate with the fast model, and we have a loading screen. The animations and the words you see for each loading screen is different based on your selected theme. Awesome, so we have our results. The sentence I entered happens to be at an A2 level, as you can see. Now I can click on view corrections to learn more about the errors I made. Okay, so it identified 3 grammar corrections in my sentence. And as you can see, the errors are broken down here with appropriate explanations for each of them. I also now know what the correct translation for achievements is in French. Up here, you can see the original text as well as the corrected version of the full text. And when we scroll down here, we can see the strengths identified as well as a few areas for improvements. You see, with these corrections, I've learned something today, and that's the point. Even if I had sent a sentence that had no grammatical errors, I would have received a style enhancement suggestion, which would still allow me to learn something new. Alright, let's take a look at the collage now. Over here, you can see all the entries I've added to the collage during the testing period. You'll notice every entry has a slightly different background based on the mood of the user at the time of entry. You can also quickly tell what the CEFR score for each writing is, the number of corrections or style suggestions they've received, and the name of the person who submitted the entry, as well as the date the entry was submitted. When you click on any of them, you get an expanded view where you can see more details about the corrections. You'll also see the original text and the corrected text right here. When you scroll to the top, you have an option to export the entries in CSV or PDF formats. I added a very comprehensive filter to allow users to perform more detailed searches across the entries. Whatever entries are returned when you apply the filter is what will be exported. So you can choose to export your own entries or perhaps only entries with a particular CEFR score, or maybe only those with style suggestions. For this video, let's export all the entries in PDF format since we don't have too many, just so I can show you what they look like. Okay, so you see the PDF contains all the details about the entry, but what you're probably most interested in is the original text and the corrected text. You could probably use this at the end of each week or probably each month to revise the sentences you wrote as part of your learning. Okay, so a couple more things. I added sound effects across the application, but hey, if they get annoying, you can always go back to the writing page, the main page, and mute them here. You can view the About page if you want to learn more about me or what tools the application was built with. Here in the footer, you can view the privacy policy and terms of use for the application as well. If you want to send feedback to me or have some suggestions, you can do so right here. You can choose to send a quick feedback by clicking on any of these emojis and adding a quick comment. Or if you prefer, you can send a more comprehensive feedback using the form here. So yeah, that's basically everything you need to know about the French writing playground. The beautiful thing about this application is that it serves as a minimum baseline for practicing writing in French. I believe that the law of compounding can be applied to language learning, and that means small efforts made consistently over a long period of time would lead to significant improvements. Let's do some math. If I simply write 50 characters every single day in French expressing different thoughts, then after 365 days, I would have written a total of 18,250 characters. Now, most of the time, you'll probably write more than 50 characters, which is even better. If you view your corrections every single time you write, there's no way you won't make progress. This application is ideal for me because I'm a very busy person who's also trying to reach proficiency level in French. If you relate to that, then this might also be a good place for you to practice. Now, the version I just walked you through addresses all the issues I've been facing with consistent daily practice. However, I'm thinking of creating a version 2.0 of this application. I've had a lot of ideas running through my head about how to improve it, so if I do implement them, I'll create an updated video for that.